with you. You came and, although that wasn't the primary objective, a lot of the stuff, the Tourette's that you experienced, fell into certain things. And over that year and a half, you did certain sourcing, certain methods, stuff like that, that allowed that, if you will, to lessen. And was at some point, as you recognized it, desirable, I imagine, to you, probably scary to you. So I imagine what happened is you went through, and when you recognized it had gone away, in part, not all the way, did you feel fear?
I actually felt the fear pretty early on in the process.
Right. Okay.
Well, actually...
So then we probably dealt with the fear.
Very early on.
Yeah.
I mean, I did the 5-day, and then I think a few weeks later I went and did the middle 5-day, and I think it's the second day, you look at fear.
Yeah.
And I worked with Nancy Salzman because all of a sudden, she had come into the intensive, and I didn't know this at the time, but because she knew that I was there, because I had Tourette's, and I'm sure she was curious about what was going on. And I thought I was going to do, one of the sourcings with her, one of the conversations with her, and I thought that in that conversation, my whole Tourette's was going to just evaporate into thin air. And right before the conversation, though, again, I didn't know this at the time, but I ended up going to the bathroom, and I started like dry heaving, and all these things were happening. Because I decided that I was going to look at the fear of losing Tourette's. At some point I decided, you know what, maybe that would be a good fear. Just maybe it would be a good fear to look at. And I ended up having this huge reaction right beforehand.
The fear of the fear, in effect.
Yeah.
Because if you looked at the fear of losing Tourette's, you may lose it's very funny, these things are self-referential, and we handle those things. They're like tautologies almost. You have the fear of losing Tourette's, and then you have the fear of losing the fear. Most people have an attachment, or they have some sort of an issue, like I always say, they want the red Porsche. And if I'm a person that's really attached to having a red Porsche, and I come to someone to work that attachment, my internal processing, my internal loop sort of goes like this. I say, okay, I have an attachment to wanting a red Porsche, and I think I'm going to work that attachment. So if I work that attachment, it means I won't want the red Porsche. And if I don't want the red Porsche, then I may not get the red Porsche, because I may not even try to get the red Porsche. So then I'll never get the red Porsche. And I want the red Porsche. So I don't want to get rid of that fear. I don't want to get rid of that desire. I don't want to get rid of that attachment. So the attachment makes you attached to the attachment. If you're scared of losing Tourette's, and then you're going in to work that fear, you'd be scared, because what if the fear goes away? It brings up the same fear that you're removing. So we have ways of working that.
Yes. And obviously I wasn't even, maybe not obviously, even before I started the 5-day, I wasn't even aware that I had a fear of losing the Tourette's. But the 5-day had moved me so much, and I had enough shifts and began to have a certain level of self-awareness, very small level of self-awareness, that I realized that I did have some fear about it. And that was really the beginning of the journey of overcoming it.